Let's begin the broadcast with this breaking news coming in. The first reaction from the former Deputy Chief Minister of Punjab, Mr. Sukhbir Singh Badal, who was attacked, remember, in Nanded while offering prayers. The attacker has been detained. This is the first reaction of Mr. Badal, in which he's alleged that perpetrators were trying to disturb peace in Punjab and take control of the situation in state. Says miscreants want to disturb and disrupt peace in the state of Punjab. He's also saying that he would never allow such an attempt, recalling that he has been attacked twice before at the Golden Temple and Takht Huzur Sahib. Listen in.
Their mission is to take control of the situation in Punjab and disturb the peace, which, as President of Akali Dal, I will never allow it. Neither my father allowed it. They both times they attacked me in the holiest places. First time in Golden Temple and second time in Takht Huzur Sahib. I always said कि जिदे सिर ते गुरु साहब दा हथ होए उन्हें कोई आंच नहीं आउंदी.
Let's go across to Rucha, who's getting us more details. And the question is, who is Mr. Badal talking about? Because he continues to refer people behind this attack as they. He says they want to take control, want to disturb peace in the state of Punjab, and he will never allow that to happen.
Well, this is the first reaction that's coming from Sukhbir Singh Badal after he was attacked, and while he was heading to Delhi, he has commented on the entire act that took place yesterday. And talking about these forces, he mentioned these evil forces have always tried to attack me. Going back to 2024, he recalled the incident when he was shot at, and he also mentioned that these forces, evil forces, are always making an attempt to disrupt the peace in our state. But referring to his father also, he mentioned that my father and I have never compromised on putting the religion or putting the communal safety first before anything. That comes first for us, and which will always be, and for which we will never allow these evil forces to get success in their intentions. And also talking about yesterday's incident, he also mentioned how this is not the first time that such act he has experienced. There are these evil forces which have always made such attempts, and talking about communal peace, he said that will be our only priority. Communal safety and religious safety always comes first for us, and which I will continue to do so. Additionally, he also gave a clear message that I have never feared
trying to stir up tension in the state of Punjab and disrupt peace over there, and he will never allow that to happen. Rucha, thank you for getting us the details. Let's in fact once again listen in that first reaction that came in from Mr. Badal after he was attacked.
Their mission is to take control of the situation in Punjab and disturb the peace, which, as President of Akali Dal, I will never allow it. Neither my father allowed it. They both times they attacked me in the holiest places. First time in Golden Temple and second time in Takht Huzur Sahib. I always said कि जिदे सिर ते गुरु साहब दा हथ होए उन्हें कोई आंच नहीं आउंदी.
Let's now shift our focus to the state of Karnataka, where a controversy has broken out. This after Minister Zameer Ahmed sought to be relieved of the responsibility of hoisting the national flag during Independence Day celebrations in Vijayanagara. So Mr. Zameer has cited two reasons. One, he says there are personal reasons behind this. Number two, he says, given that there are upcoming local body polls and assembly by polls and also party organization work, that would leave him with very little time to fulfill the responsibilities as the district in charge. Now, BJP has hit out at Zameer Ahmed and the Congress party as well. Let's listen to the reactions coming in from the BJP camp.
It's very unfortunate. Unfortunate because being a minister, he should know his responsibility. Hoisting a national flag on August 15th, it's a responsibility, it's a commitment, it's not optional. He claims he wants more time to build party. He needs more time to attend the by-election. Then why did he accept a cabinet berth? When he has accepted a cabinet berth, it's the responsibility of the Jamir Ahmad to behave with more responsibility. So it's not an option, it's a duty of a minister to attend to this work.
BZ Zamir Ahmad Khan has returned to the government stating that he will not be able to take part in the Independence Day flag hoisting because he has other duties. And
if he is having other duty, he should resign and go. See, he is there for to attend the government job. If he is a minister, he should. Otherwise, he should quit. That's all.
Now, the Congress party has backed Zamir Ahmad and has hit out at the BJP asking, why is the focus on Zamir Ahmad? There are other issues to talk about. Congress MLA UT Khadar says that Zamir Ahmad is a patriot. All communities support him and have accepted him. Why is the BJP making this an issue? Listen in.
Why this opposition, when they got lot of issues of students, need, social sector, why they want to talk all on this unnecessarily? Zamir is a patriotic, all communities are support him and he is always in Congress. Why these want to spoil the atmosphere in this one? Are they happy by spoiling their mind and their situation? What is the intention?
Akshara, my colleague, is joining us with more details. Akshara, massive war of words there intensifying in the state of Karnataka over Zamir Ahmad seeking to be relieved of responsibilities of hoisting the national flag during Independence Day. BJP says, why did he even accept the cabinet berth if he can't make time for this event?
You see, yes, that's the opposition coming to this particular letter that has been written by BZ Zamir Ahmad Khan. He's saying State Independence Day, you have to be present there as per the protocol in order to attend the flag hoisting program. But such move coming in from the Congress Minister BZ Zamir Ahmad Khan has drawn a lot of flag from the opposition. There are a few of the BJP leaders are also going ahead and stating that BZ Zamir Ahmad Khan should be expelled from this particular cabinet because of his such move that has been made by the BZ Zamir Ahmad Khan, the Congress Minister. At the very same time, the Congress leaders are also backing Zamir Ahmad Khan, stating that he's a patriot. He did not go and do that in order to prove himself, is the word coming in from UT Khadar. And the government has appointed a different minister, designated a different minister, KS Baswantappa, to ensure that he goes and attends the flag hoisting program. But at the very same time, a strong opposition and flag being received by BZ Zamir Ahmad Khan because of his letter to the Chief Minister asking him to be relieved from these duties of attending the flag hoisting event on the Independence Day.
All right. All right, Akshara, thank you very much for getting us the details. We're moving on now, shifting our focus to some breaking inputs coming in on the broadcast. This is the inside scoop that we're getting for you of the Bangladeshi Prime Minister's visit to India. So this is what government sources from Bangladesh are telling Times Now, that the Bangladesh Prime Minister is likely to visit India next week. This bilateral visit is likely to take place next week. This is the exclusive scoop we are getting for you. The story was first broken here on Times Now about the Bangladesh Prime Minister's visit to India. It is going to happen somewhere around next week. That's what we are given to understand. And if everything goes as planned, then this would be Mr. Rahman's first trip to India as the Bangladesh Prime Minister, and could be a landmark moment as far as the relation, the equation between both countries is concerned. So big news there coming in, exclusive scoop that we're getting for you on the Bangladesh Prime Minister's visit to India, which could happen according to sources sometime during next week. And if this meeting takes place as planned, if the visit takes place as planned, then this will be PM Tariq Rahman's first visit to India after assuming power, assuming charge. Let me go across to Akanksha, who's getting us more details. We broke the story here first. Now, sources telling us this visit could take place somewhere next week, sometime next week.
Absolutely, Swati. It was here at times now that we informed our viewers that the Bangladeshi Prime Minister will be giving the BRICS summit a miss, but more importantly, that bilateral visit is soon going to become a reality thanks to India's newly appointed High Commissioner Dinesh Trivedi, who has been in Bangladesh. Remember, he also called upon Prime Minister Modi just a few days ago, but on Monday he had a very crucial meeting, remember, with Prime Minister Tariq Rahman. In attendance was also Bangladesh's Foreign Minister Khalilur Rahman and Bangladesh's Foreign Advisor to Prime Minister Rahman, that is Mr. Humayun Kabir. And we are being told that there has been a lot of positive development because much damage had been done after Sheikh Hasina's virtual address on 5th of August, even though Hasina had declared that she will be returning to Bangladesh most likely in December. India has always maintained that India has not endorsed those views of Sheikh Hasina, neither has it endorsed that public platform where she delivered that address. More importantly, we are being told Bangladesh has in fact already indicated that they have two key demands, that they want Sheikh Hasina to be extradited. Secondly, they want the extradition of the two suspected killers of Usman Hadi, who, remember, earlier this year were arrested in Bengal by Bengal Police's STF. So these are the two demands that have been placed by Bangladesh. But as far as India is concerned, we also have our own concerns as far as border security is concerned, or Bangladesh cracking down on illegal immigration. More importantly, it is these multiple meetings between High Commissioner Dinesh Trivedi and the Bangladesh government that have led to a change of heart as far as Prime Minister Tariq Rahman is concerned. And we are being told that this could very well culminate into a bilateral visit by next visit prior to the BRICS summit. And we are awaiting a formal confirmation, but this could very well mean some good news for India-Dhaka ties, which, remember, were about to hit a new diplomatic low after Sheikh Hasina's virtual address.
Absolutely. Like you said, it could prove to be a landmark moment as far as the equation between both the countries is concerned, Akanksha.
Oh, absolutely. And we have already seen how India and Bangladesh have struggled to gain stability as far as our bilateral ties are concerned, even more so during Mohammad Yunus's, the former interim advisor to Bangladesh, his regime. We've seen the kind of violence that broke out after Sheikh Hasina left the country. And so there's been one key demand by the hardliners there that they should extradite, that India needs to extradite Sheikh Hasina. But India has, of course, been a loyal friend to Sheikh Hasina, given the positive momentum that ties had between New Delhi and Dhaka when she was the Prime Minister. So India is also looking towards its concerns, but India has always urged for dialogue and diplomacy to prevail. Right. And that is why it has been telling, High Commissioner Dinesh Trivedi has in fact been assuring the Bangladeshi government that for dialogue and diplomacy to take place, Prime Minister Tariq Rahman must pay a bilateral visit to New Delhi. India has already been
those assurances and attempts definitely seem to be working. Akanksha, stay on with us. We have more breaking inputs lined up. I'll come to you for details on that as well. And this is what we are picking up from our sources, that the president of Iran, Mr. Masoud Pezeshkian, will attend the BRICS summit. So he will visit India. That's what we are picking up. India, remember, will host the 18th BRICS summit in New Delhi on September 12th and 13th as the grouping's chair for 2026. So this particular summit is expected to bring together leaders of major BRICS members, including China, Russia, Iran. And according to sources, Masoud Pezeshkian will be traveling to Delhi to attend the BRICS summit. This is what we are picking up from our sources. Let's go across to Akanksha. She continues to be with us on the broadcast for more on this. At the moment, sources suggesting that Masoud Pezeshkian could travel to Delhi to attend the BRICS summit, Akanksha.
Absolutely, and this is something that the government sources within Iran have also confirmed 2 times now, that Masoud Pezeshkian will be representing Iran in the national capital when the BRICS summit takes place in September. It's very important to highlight that there has been consistent engagement between Tehran and New Delhi as far as all the events in the run-up to the main BRICS summit is concerned. We've seen how the Iranian delegations have been paying a visit to the national capital and various parts parts of India as well. Earlier this year, we had seen how Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi was also very much in attendance. And so following up in the culmination to this engagement, we will be seeing the Iranian president. What's important to highlight is that this is going to also pose a significant challenge, Swati, for New Delhi, given that UAE and Iran both are new entrants in BRICS and they are not seeing eye to eye currently. So what will be the joint statement of the BRICS like? Will there be a joint statement issued, especially in the backdrop of the war in West Asia? Would be interesting to see. Iran has always maintained and used the BRICS platforms at various events to urge the international community and even India to call out the U.S. atrocities that have been taking place as far as West Asia and the war in West Asia is concerned. UAE, being a U.S. ally, has maintained that why is Iran continuing to attack the United States West Asian allies. So there are differences when it comes to this, but it will be a huge diplomatic moment for India. It will also be displaying our own diplomatic prowess when we'll have the Iranian president and the UAE representatives sharing the same platform at the BRICS summit.
All right, Akaksha, thank you very much for sharing the inputs, for putting things into perspective. We're moving on. More breaking inputs lined up on the broadcast. And we're given to understand that the Supreme Court of India, the Apex Court, has closed all cases and proceedings against Samay Raina and others. Remember, these cases were registered after insensitive remarks were made against persons with disabilities on India's Got Latent. Now, the Supreme Court had on the 14th of July imposed a cost of 3 lakh rupees on comedian Samay Raina, observing that he had allegedly made false statements before the court and failed to comply with its earlier directions in connection with proceedings arising out of India's Got Latent controversy. He was accused of mocking persons with disabilities in his show. The bench had directed Raina to deposit the amount within 2 weeks and had also warned that coercive action would be initiated in case of non-compliance. Now we are being told that the top court has closed all proceedings, all cases against Samay Raina and others. Let's go across to Harish, our legal editor, who's getting us more details. Harish, what transpired after which the court has closed all cases and proceedings against Samay Raina and others?
Yes, Swati, remember on the last date, the Supreme Court had pulled up Samay Raina and 5 other co-stand-up comedians for not complying with the Supreme Court directions and not filing an affidavit in this regard, and rupees 3 lakh fine was imposed on them. Today, the Supreme Court was convinced that they have taken steps to implement and comply with the court order. Court had sent to ask them that they should host programs to fund the treatment of people afflicted with SMA, that is spinal muscular atrophy, and other disabled persons, and also call in differently abled persons to their show and broadcast their success stories. Today, the Supreme Court was convinced that they had taken steps to implement comply with the court order, and this was what the court said. The respondents organized chess tournament for specially abled persons from 14 to 16 March. It received widespread media coverage with awareness being spread out about various organizations working. They have worked in close association with the SMA Foundation. We have no doubt that the respondents will work hard in their endeavor to organize events and celebrate the lives and increasing dignity of SMA warriors. Saying so, the bench led by the Chief Justice of India, Surya Kant, has decided to quash all FIRs, close all proceedings.
All right, Harish, thank you very much. Thank you for getting us the details on that breaking input. And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Newsify. But a lot more is lined up for our viewers on the other side as well after a short break. Stay on with us.